Hi there, I'm Carly from Learn English with Carly, and today I'm back in North Vancouver in Canada. Now, do you like football, or soccer as it's called here in North America? Some of you already know that I'm a huge football fan. I support Glasgow Celtic, but coming from London, England, England is my national team. What team or which teams do you support? Let me know by writing to me in the comments box below this video. Now, many of you commented that you enjoyed my first video on football phrases, so I thought that I would do another video to coincide with the beginning of the football season in Europe and the start of the Champions League 2024-25. Before we begin, please do subscribe to my channel. I also love hearing from you, so I encourage you to write to me and comment on any video that you watch here with any questions that you have. I'm going to share a further 15 football phrases with you today. Many of these we can use in everyday English too, not just in football. So I think you'll find these helpful in your understanding of English, as well as using them in your everyday English. Let's get rid of this ball. Our first football phrase today is a howler. This is an inexplicable mistake. This can be a mistake made by a player that is damaging, or a mistake that someone makes in general. Let's see how we use it in both a football context first and then in everyday English. That was an absolute howler by the Manchester United goalkeeper. He completely missed the ball. And in everyday English, the report the employee sent was full of howlers. The teacher read out a selection of howlers from students' past exam answers. We use the verb make with howler. I was so embarrassed. I made such an outrageous howler. I called my boss my husband's name. Our second phrase is a hard man. A hard man is a player who is notorious for their tough, physical and assertive style of football. Sergio Ramos is a hard man who has been sent off numerous times. Again, we can refer to tough, physical men in everyday life as a hard man or hard men. Robert's father is a hard man. You wouldn't cross him. To cross someone means to annoy someone. Don't cross me today, I'm in a bad mood. The film Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels is full of hard men. What about our third football phrase, a class act? A class act is a player or manager who deserves praise, especially with their attitude and manners off the field, but also the quality of their football on the pitch. The new striker is a class act. Mane is a class act. He said that he would prefer to build schools and give poor people food or clothing. I do not need to display luxury cars, luxury homes, trips, and even planes. We can also use this phrase to describe someone or something if they are impressive and of high quality. For a person, they are good at what they do. Adele is a class act. Despite his age, Tom Jones is still a class act. The quality of the magazine was excellent, a real class act. Now, I hope you've been keeping a clean sheet. If you keep a clean sheet, then it means that a team and/or the goalkeeper has played a full game or more than one game without conceding a goal. The team kept a clean sheet during the match. So far, Kasper Schmeichel, the new Celtic goalkeeper, has kept a clean sheet in the 2024-25 season. Keeping a clean sheet when playing against a team such as Bayern Munich is a great achievement. Again, we can also use a clean sheet in everyday English to mean that someone starts afresh after something bad or bad behaviour. Victor apologised for his bad behaviour and requested to rejoin the group with a clean sheet. After leaving prison, Sam was looking forward to starting life again with a clean sheet. A teacher might say to a student, "Last term didn't go well. Let's start this term with a clean sheet." An alternative to this in everyday English, so not in football English, is a clean slate. So for the 3 previous example sentences, we can change sheet to slate. Now to a phrase that I believe is only used exclusively in football, a clinical finish. A clinical finish is a perfect shot that leads to a goal. The scorer of this goal is a clinical finisher. Mbappe is definitely a clinical finisher. That was a clinical finish from Harry Kane. Bayern now lead 3-0. Arsenal's goal there in the remaining minutes of the game was a clinical finish to win the match. Now you will likely already know the verb to dive, meaning to plunge headfirst into water. But when we use this in football, it means the exaggerated falling move of a player to deceive the referee in order to win their team a foul call. Neymar has a reputation for diving when he gets near the penalty area. That was a dive by Neymar. It was never a penalty. What other players do you know who often dive to try and win a free kick or penalty? What about the verb to hoof? To hoof means to purposely kick the ball hard up the pitch rather than to pass it properly. The Newcastle defender hoofed the ball up the pitch. My goodness, that defender hoofed the ball up the pitch there. Have you heard of a hospital ball? This is a reckless pass that's within reach of 2 players from opposing teams that can cause injuries. That was a hospital ball played to Rashford. He was lucky to escape without a serious injury. I love our 9th football phrase today. It's a verb, to nutmeg someone. I think it's quite funny when this happens during a match. To nutmeg someone means to kick or put the ball through the opponent's legs. What a nutmeg there. Saka just nutmegged the PSV central defender. Another football phrase that is often used by commentators and spectators is to park the bus. This means that a team is playing ultra defensive so as to not concede any goals, usually because they are winning. AC Milan only need a draw to progress out of the group stages. They have played almost no attacking football tonight. Instead, they have decided to park the bus. Now, our 11th football phrase today can be used in football as well as in the real everyday world of work. To be sacked, to get the sack, or to get sacked. All of these mean the same thing. You may have also heard to be fired or to get fired. If you are sacked or fired, then you lose your job. This phrase is used a lot in football when managers lose their jobs. Thomas Tuchel was sacked from Chelsea as well as Bayern Munich. And in the real world of work, we can use this useful verb in the following ways. Anna was sacked last year for gross misconduct. 4 government officials were sacked today for corruption. Billy got the sack for being too late too often. You can see that when we use this verb, it's usually for a negative reason. Somebody didn't do well in their job. If you wish to say that someone was asked to leave their job for financial reasons, for example, when a company doesn't have enough money, then we use the verb to make somebody redundant. Tina was made redundant from her office job last week. 70 employees were made redundant after company sales fell. Hopefully you have never been sacked or made redundant. Now to one of my favourite football phrases, to head for an early bath. This means that a player is sent off the pitch after getting a red card. The ref just sent Casemiro for an early bath there. Maida headed for an early bath against Atletico Madrid last season, leaving Celtic with only 10 men. Our 13th phrase, to hit the woodwork, is a frustrating one if this happens to your team. If you hit the woodwork, then the ball strikes one of the goal posts or the bar across the top. Haaland just hit the woodwork from the edge of the box. Here the box means the penalty box. Inter Milan hit the woodwork twice in the first half. West Ham's Jarrod Bowen hit the woodwork 5 times last season. Now, I have included our last 2 phrases because I think that they are amusing, but both have been coined because of or by the former Man United manager Alex Ferguson. When a manager or coach gets angry, they give their players the hairdryer treatment. This means that they shout in a player's face. Alex Ferguson, the former Man United manager, was known for giving the players the hairdryer treatment at half-time if he was unhappy with how the team was playing. Do you know of any other managers who give the hairdryer treatment? And finally, our last football phrase today, squeaky bum time. This refers to that nerve-wracking period of time when a team is winning by just 1 goal, but there are still a few minutes left for the losing side to make a comeback. When fans get this nervous, they tend to move around uneasily in their seats, creating that squeaky sound with the plastic. This phrase was coined by the great Alex Ferguson. It's squeaky bum time. Have Man United got what it takes to win this match? Squeaky bum time for Liverpool fans as Manchester City apply pressure with only 2 minutes of the game remaining. There we have it, 15 new football phrases that are used by commentators and spectators, but are also used by us normal users of everyday English. Which of these phrases did you already know? Which phrases are useful to you? Let me know your answers to these questions and any other comments that you have by writing to me in the comments box below this video. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you found this video interesting, fun and useful. I look very much forward to working with you again in our next English lesson. Take care in the meantime and enjoy this upcoming football season and Champions League. Bye.